With free next-day delivery from Staples, you can run your business like a pro. You can guarantee the marketing department that they'll get their supplies tomorrow and guarantee the accounting department that they'll be delivered free. With free next-day delivery, you'll have the ability to move deadlines up and adjust budgets down. Go to staples.com and get the office essentials you need delivered next day for free. Staples. It's pro time. Orders over $49.99. Placed by 5 p.m. Excludes weekends and holidays. Eligible items only.
You're tuning in to the Goldilocks presentation of the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine Show with Anthony Rodriguez. Anthony Rodriguez, aka Walking Crow, found transformational energy healing through a personal search into healing and was transformed by this experience. He made the decision to pursue training and has since become a certified energy healing practitioner with an emphasis on working with clients in recovery from addiction. His willingness to be open and listen has allowed him to be of service to many who seek a peaceful, serene, and healthier body, mind, and spirit. Call in now if you would like to speak with Anthony. The call-in number is 713-955-0332. Enjoy this transformational and healing show.
Well, hey there, everybody. Happy Tuesday, and welcome back to the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine Show. My name's Anthony Rodriguez, Walking Crow, and I am your host. All right. Boy, hope everybody survived the energies of the eclipse and are surviving the interesting energies of the Mercury in retrograde and the new moon and the balsamic phase of darkness of the new moon and all those things, and I hope you're surviving. But before we move forward, I want to take a little time. To clear the room, to clear myself of the energies that I may be carrying around that are unnecessary, that I don't need. I like to clear the airwaves and clear the computers and the phones and everything involved for putting this show on, even clear the energies of the eclipse. Clear those energies, that they would be clear and the spirit would remove those and only download what it is that's necessary for us to do this show, that we would have the medicine and the medicine necessary to move forward from this point forward, from this second forward, from this minute, from this day, from this week, from this month, from this year. And what is it you want to move forward into? What is it you want to say yes to after a lifetime of saying no? Clearing all the energies, removing all the blocks, and stepping into a place of goodness and what it is we want to create for ourselves. Is it a loving space? Is it a new job? Do you want a new home? Do you want a loving family? Do you want a partner that you can talk to that won't lash back at you when you share the things that you need to share? Do you want somebody who will listen to you, from the other room as well as in the same room? Do you want somebody who will say, you know what, that's okay. I'm sorry, I made a mistake. And do you want to learn how to say that too? What will you say yes to that you have said no to for a lifetime? Say yes to yourself and change your life forever. Let go and working through the shadow self. Do you understand what it is to work through the shadow self? We have cleared all the energies that in the blocks in our way, and we're ready to move forward. It's time to create a transmission there, Miss Reverend Tiffany White Sage Woman, who's in the background saying, if I hear eclipse one more time, did everybody get tired of that too? Man, it's, and I have to tell you, I feel like while we were looking up at the eclipse, I wasn't, everybody else was, that our government was pulling our pants down, but that's a whole other show, and getting one over on us, or however that works, or in us, who knows. Anyway, so what are you saying yes to? Think about that, and think about what it is you're not saying yes to, and what you want to say yes to, and how you want to move forward in your life. But first, I want to talk about a couple of events that I'm doing. that are coming up. This Side of Consciousness with Anthony Rodriguez, Walking Crow. It's at Venus de Fido this Saturday, August 26th at 12 p.m. out in Palm Desert. It's adjacent to Palm Springs. So it's a 2-hour drive from Los Angeles. But if you're in the Palm Desert area, come on out and join us. It's $25 for this amazing event. It's an amazing experience of an event. And if you've never been in a room where somebody will support you through your shame and your hurts and your wounds, and and then you're learning energy at the same time, and then we're going to journey on top of that. So there's a lot of stuff that's going to be going on in that room, a lot of learning to do, and a lot of healing will be happening in that room in the desert. And then on the second, the week after that, I'll be back at Venus de Fido in Palm Desert, and I'll be doing second chakra. We'll be working through the second chakra and how the emotions work with regard to the chakra, and how we handle those or don't handle those energies of the body, of the subtle body. All right. And then on September 10th, in the National City in the San Diego area, we will be revisiting This Side of Consciousness again. And this gym, the Just Go Lift, where I will be doing this event, is a body, mind, spirit gym. This isn't just a gym for people to come and lift weights. This is a place where you can come to do that sort of thing in a different way, in a Zen way, in a peaceful way, in a spiritual way. Do you know what it is to do something in a spiritual way? And do you want to do something in a spiritual way? Do you want to learn a new way of being, a new way of doing, a new way of living? Do you? Can you? Will you? So that's where I'll be. And then actually also next week, on next Tuesday's show, because I want to start announcing this as well. Next Tuesday's show, we will be talking about, where did it go? It was there. I know it's there. Living with ghosts, coming out of the past and into the present. Living in your light, right here, right now. And do you live in your light? Do you want to live in your light, or do you not know how to live in your light? These are the questions that I'm constantly asking you and myself and others. And we don't always have the answer for those things, but we know that we want to live differently. We know that we want differently. We know that we want to come into a space that is different from what we're accustomed to. And what are you accustomed to? What kind of things are you accustomed to? And so that's what we'll be talking about next week. And I'm really excited about planning ahead for these events and putting them on the calendar so you can have something to bite on or to gnaw on, while you're going through your week in anticipation of what I'm going to talk about. So you can maybe call in and have questions and have your questions answered in a good way, I hope, and even maybe get a healing, I hope. Well, all right. So, but that said, back to today's show. Today's show, we're talking about do you say yes to yourself, and have you said yes? Do you say yes to other people and pay them lip service and double talk? Do you say yes to yourself and pay yourself lip service and double talk? Do you? And are you willing to give yourself something different? These are the same questions I'm always asking, and sorry, got distracted there for a second. These are the questions I'm always asking, and I ask them routinely because we avoid ourselves. We don't give ourselves the things that we would like to have. We pretend to, and we pretend to be what we're not. But when is it you're going to step into who you really want to be, who you truly want to be, and transcend that stinking thinking? We'll call it that, stinking thinking. They talk about that in the 12-step program. Do you have stinking thinking that leads to a stinking living? And your life's not so great. At least that's what you think, and you think it's not so great because you don't do anything else but the same old thing, expecting a different result. What? And I'm going to ask you again, what is it you really want? Really? What is it you really want? And do you really want to make a change in your life? You know, I will always ask that, because I had to ask myself that same question. You know, I really had to ask myself that question. And I ask myself that question every day. You know, I know what it is that I want for my life. I know how it is I want to live. I know how it is that I want to get there. And, you know, I had a meeting this morning with a young medicine woman named Jennifer Escalera, who, Tiffany, you may want to be introduced to her. She's a wonderful young woman. And her and I are going to be doing an event. We're putting together an event on October 1st here in Pasadena. And this event is going to be directed towards the divine feminine and divine masculine, and how we don't know how to communicate what it is we really want, how we hide from ourselves, how we hide from our partner, with our secrets and the shadow self. We hide, and you know, we don't say what we want to say because we think that we're going to be shamed or guilted or judged. You know, maybe we just need to be out in the open with what it is we need to talk about and how we need to be, so we don't have to worry about being shamed or guilted or in fear of those things. So there again, and I'm saying that because you can say yes to what it is you want. Do you want to have a relationship with somebody who will actually understand what you're talking about, who will actually listen to what you're saying, you know, who actually will love you through your shortcomings and your difficulties? You know, will they? Will they actually love you through your shortcomings and your difficulties? You know, we can't even love ourselves through our shortcomings and our difficulties, through our low or no self-esteem. But doggone it, we're going to go out there and take somebody hostage so they can love us for who we're not. You know? And you all know what I'm talking about. You know, you all have heard the songs, you know, all those love songs that speak to, ooh, baby, I can't live without you. Ooh, baby, I've waited a lifetime for you. Ooh, baby, when do we write a love song to ourselves with regard to that? When are we going to look in the mirror and say, you know, Anthony, I've been waiting for you all my life. Where have you been? Why haven't you hugged me? Why haven't you held me? Why haven't you said I love you? Why haven't you encouraged me? Why haven't you been compassionate to me? I live within you. I live around you. I live within that soul, in the subtle energies of your body, in your auric field. Why have you not loved me, Anthony? I can't live without you, Anthony. Ooh, baby, baby, I want to love you, Anthony. Write a love song like that. You know, write a love song about how it is that one nurtures themselves and they say yes to themselves and they stop saying no, you know, to bad energy. They start saying yes to a way of living and a way of speaking and a way of understanding and a way of being compassionate. A way of being compassionate. Compassionate to what? Compassionate to who? Compassionate to you, to yourself, to me, to myself. That's love. And if you haven't heard me say it before, I'm going to tell you again, love is an action. Love is not a saying. Love is not a feeling. Love is an action. And with that, I'm going to remind you, 713-955-0332. Call in and give us a shout. What is it that you want to talk about? And tell me what your yes is going to be for you today. Tell me what you're going to say no to today. How are you going to love you in the way that you have never loved you before and transcend the old self, transcend the old life, transcend the old hatred for self? Oh, when? When will you say it? When will you do it? When will you be it? When? Oh. You know, today at my meeting with my friend Jennifer, and I love this woman. This woman is an incredible healer. She's doing some great work. And I sat there as we shared ideas and information for putting together this workshop we're going to be doing. I was overwhelmed and overcome by emotion in my fourth chakra. And it's happening right now. You know, I have given myself voice. I have given myself expression. I have given myself speech through the fifth chakra, through the place of expression, through my hands, through my voice, through my drum, through the mallet, aho, through Creator, Great Spirit. I have said yes to myself, and I have had to say no to other things, aho. And with that, I'm going to get personal. I always get personal, because would you believe me if I just told you tall tales and stories? I have stories to tell. I have tall tales to tell. But the tall tales and the stories I tell are true. They're my truth. They're the things that have happened in my life, and how I've transcended, and how I've transitioned, and how I transformed, and how I've transmuted. I've alchemized the way of living. Anthony has alchemized himself and become something that he never expected to become, a whole. I've overridden and survived the domestication of my parents. God bless them. They wanted the best for me, but God bless them. Sometimes we make mistakes, you know. God bless them. The schools that I went to, you know, good, well-meaning people make mistakes, and it's okay. You know, I don't have to hold their feet to the fire. Not at all. Not at all. You know, so I move on. I move into my world. I move on with my life, and that's something I'm doing this week. Because this week, you know, I don't know if anybody is out there that's been really listening, but you know, I received my divorce papers on Saturday. You know, the final papers, and you know what? It was a catapult I needed to really step into myself, because I wasn't stepping into the power of Anthony Rodriguez Walking Crow. I wasn't stepping into the power of who and what I am, and who and what I have always been. I at some point had to say no to a love that wasn't real, to a love that wasn't good for me, and to things that weren't nurturing for me. That I'm not saying that person was a bad person or anything like that. Great, wonderful person, just not for me. I needed to give myself those things. There is no way that I can go outside myself and try to receive that without being able to give that. And do you know what I mean? The golden rule: do unto others as you would have done unto you. But really, honestly, I want to do unto me, and do unto me in a way that I grow and I nurture, and I don't have to go outside myself to try to get love from somebody else. Because other people don't know how to give that in a good way, because they're busy trying to get it before they're trying to give it. It's a vicious circle. So I had to say yes to loving myself and to giving myself things that were necessary, you know. And loving myself is necessary. It's necessary. Loving myself is necessary, and saying yes to myself is necessary, and saying no to myself is necessary, so I can necessarily love you without waiting for your love in return. They call that unconditional love. Unconditional love. Third chakra, fire, fuego. I am the I am that I say I am. I will, I do, I am, I can, I will, I do, I am, I can, I will, I do, I am, I am. Esteem. Whenever I do workshops and we're warming up, we're opening up the chakra system, and we're warming that up, those areas up, I have them go through the exercise when we get to the third chakra, repeating that 3 times. What I just repeated 3 times, we repeat that in my workshop 3 times. Because I think there's more of an understanding when you repeat it multiple times than just once. You know, because sometimes you'll pay yourself lip service with that one time. And I don't want people paying themselves lip service or me lip service in my workshops. You know, I want them to be able to get the most out of that event, the most out of that what I have to say, the most out of what I have to teach. You know, because I want to get the most from you. Because, you know, there's some people that come to my workshops that really respect me and really love me, and it really comes across. It really comes across. And the reason is this. I know you're in my workshop, and I know you paid to be there. But if you think about it, and I'm going to say this, there is nothing I want from you. Did you hear that? There is nothing I want from you. But what I want is I want something for you. And what I want for you is everything. I want everything for you, everything you ever wanted to be happy, everything you've ever wanted to be at peace, everything you've ever wanted to be in love and of love, and in the power of who and what you are and who and what you have always been. 713-955-0332. Give us a jingle. Say hello. Tell me that I'm full of crap if you think I'm full of crap. But guess what? I know I'm not. Because I have transcended. I have moved forward. How do you want to move forward? And do you want to know how? Do you want to learn how to move forward? Aren't you tired of living the same old way? Doing the same old thing day in and day out? You know, like Groundhog Day? You know? This is not Groundhog Day. This is real life. This is reality. This is real life. This is reality. What kind of reality do you want to live in? Do you live in a reality? Or do you live in a facade, wearing a mask, hiding from others, sharing something that isn't real? You know, trying to get one over on somebody. That was my life for a long time. I talked about that somewhere the other day about, you know, I get really personal when I talk about when I'm teaching because, you know, I'm the real deal. My experiences are real. My experiences aren't made up. And by the way, I am not a motivational speaker by any means. There's somebody who called me that the other day, and I said, I am not that. That's not what I do. I am not a motivational speaker. I'm not here to motivate you. I'm here to help you. I'm here to stand next to you. I'm here to stand behind you. I'm here to stand in front of you. I'm here to walk next to you in your walk of transition, transformation, and your magic of alchemy, of changing your life and transforming from gu to ru, going from gu to ru to the darkness to the light, from the darkness to the light, from the darkness to the light. How can I help you? You know, motivational speakers are polished. Motivational speakers have shiny white teeth, and they're tall or pretty, and they wear really nice clothes, and you know that they make a lot of money, and they got a lot going on. You know, but I am not that. I am a healer, and I am the person that wants to be in your life for no other reason than helping you heal. They do too. You know, and I guess, you know, when all said and done, I'd like to have the money too. But you know what? What I want for more than anything is your happiness. What I want for more than anything is my happiness. What I want for more than anything is humanity to find its heart, to find its soul, to find its peace, right where it's standing, right where it is, right where I am. I can't wait for somebody to vibrate into me from, you know, Vancouver or New York or Connecticut or Europe or Africa or Japan or from Iceland. I have to vibrate from where I am outward. Do you vibrate outward? Do you vibrate goodness? Do you give what it is you would like to receive from where you are standing? Do you say yes? Do you say yes to yourself and the good things you want in life? Do you say yes to surrender? And when I say, do you say yes to surrender, and I talk about surrender, I'm not talking about surrendering and giving up. I'm talking about surrendering to the issues in your tissues and the issues of your mind and the issues of your soul. And I'm talking about surrendering and becoming empowered in your surrender. Empowered in your surrender. How will you empower yourself? How will you empower that man or that woman that looks back at you from the mirror? How will you empower that person? Have you been empowered in your lifetime to say yes to you? I wasn't. I was never empowered to do anything but get a job, not even go to school, not even get a better education, none of that stuff. I wasn't given that message. I was given the message of get a job, join the union, work at the auto plants, and become a robot and die from alcoholism or drug addiction or diabetes or cancer or one of many thousands of things that could happen to me in working in a factory job for me. Now, I'm saying that, I'm going to tell you, it's not about the factory job. It's about me. And I was talking to my brother a couple of weeks ago. We were at dinner, and I said to him, you know, I never had any idea I was going to be in this position doing what it is that I'm doing. And his response to me was, I did. He says, you told me that you were going to do something different. You told me that you didn't want to work in that factory with your father and me. He said, you told me that you were not going to die that way. And 30 years later, here I am. At the age of 56, here I am living an unconventional life because I said yes to myself. I stepped away from the corporate world because the corporate world doesn't want me over and over again. The corporate world keeps laying me off. The corporate world keeps letting me go. The corporate world doesn't have a place for a guy like me. It does for a little while, but when it's done with me, it chews me up and spits me out. And then I'm back at square one where I started from before. And why would I want to keep doing that? So I've spent the last 2+ years, more than that, working towards my goal of where it is that I'm going. And I am a medicine man. And some people call me different things. Some people, and I want to be careful with this, some people like to call me shaman. Some people call me medicine man. Some call me curandero. You know, there are different things, different ways to speak to what it is that I do. And I try to be very careful because, you know, there's a lot of responsibility that comes with taking on those titles. You know, somebody asked me the other day about the shamanism part, and I said, you know, I'm a medicine man who happens, and I started laughing. I said, I'm an energy healer who does shamanic drumming, and I laughed at it. You know, it was because I want to be able to respect it and understand it in a good way, and I want you to do the same. So I said yes to these things. I say yes to when the energy's called, when the magic calls, when the medicine calls, when the drum called, when the energy healing called, when the teaching called, when it was time for me to teach fifth chakra for over a year. So I could have a complete understanding of communication and allowing myself to speak and helping others to come into that space. I said yes. I said yes. I said yes to those things. And I didn't know what I was saying yes to when I said it. I didn't care. I just knew that it was better, even if I was broke, than going through what I was going through, waiting for the other shoe to drop at that job, no matter how much money it was making. No matter how much money it was making. You know, I always say, you know, freedom is not having to prove anything to anybody. But I was over my mother's last week, and she pulled me aside, and she said, "Oh, I was digging through some papers, and I found some check stubs that I was looking at, and they were big amounts." She said, and I got to tell you, before I finish with the story, my mom has never been a real big person with regard to faith on who I am and what I do. I don't try to impress her. I don't try to show anybody anything. But I try to keep my job and keep my nose clean. And she said, you know, I was going through these check stubs, and they had these amounts on them, and I realized they were your check stubs. And I don't know what they were doing at her house, but she said, you know, I had no idea. You know, she has no idea because it's none of her business. And the only reason she knows is because for some reason those things were in her house, and I don't know why. But I gave that up, and I walked away from those things. And I walked away from trying to impress anybody and everybody, so I could have an impressive life of my own. So I could wake up in the morning and sit in a chair looking out the window across the street at a school, an elementary school, where I get joy from watching the little kids come back and forth and hear their screams and their yells and their voices on the playground, which I can't see through the trees. And I get to listen to them as I drink my coffee. I get to sit and listen to them as I read a book, or I get to listen to them as I broadcast this show. And what I'm taking in is the energy of a child, direction of the South, direction of air, direction of heart, direction of lungs, air. I love. Direction of summertime. Oh, summertime. Be childlike. Direction of the spirit world. Oh, medicine wheel. This is what we're talking about. This is what I'm talking about constantly. And what is it that you will say yes to? What is it that you'll start saying no to? Or what is it you've been saying no to for a lifetime and not yes? Say yes. Hear your yes. Say yes. Y-E-S! Exclamation point. What is it that you will give yourself? Aren't you tired or sick and tired of being sick and tired of being sick and tired of being sick and tired? Let me know. Are you? I am. I was, And I mentioned my personal receiving of those papers the other day, and God bless my wife, my ex-wife. God bless her. She's moving on to something that she wants that'll work for her, and I'm sending her off with blessings and sending her off with love, and she sent me off. Let's be real about that. And you know what? It doesn't matter that it didn't work out. What did work out was I got to learn some lessons about Anthony. I got to learn some lessons about high human. High human. How many of you can, say that to yourself, high human, and laugh at yourself? And laugh at the fact that, you're just that. You're a spiritual being in the material world. Mayic energy, the Mayic world. Can you laugh at yourself? Can you poke fun at yourself? Can you be childlike and not childish? Oh. Can you be childlike and not childish? This is a goal that I've been trying to achieve for a lifetime because I didn't know what it was like to be childlike. I was always childish. I was always throwing a tantrum. I was always getting angry. I was always throwing something. I was always upset. It was always somebody else's fault. I would never take responsibility for who and what I was being, and my behavior, or my behavior. And I had to come into a harsh lesson as an adult. At the age of, after I lived a lifetime, I had to shift. But the shift was, I went from fifth gear into sixth gear, and they call that overdrive. Oh, at least in my car they do. Call it overdrive. So, what are you willing to say yes to? Are you willing to say yes to overdrive? Are you willing to say yes to a new way of living, a new way of being? What are you willing to say yes to? Oh, can you say yes? Do you know how to say yes? Are you so deep in your depression? Are you so deep in your angst, your anxiety? Are you so deep in your anger that you don't know how to come out of it? That you don't know how to stop saying no? I spoke with a young lady on social media yesterday. She was talking about her anxiety. And she kept speaking to her anxiety. And she kept talking to her anxiety. And I told her, stop talking to your anxiety. She goes, well, it's my way of dealing. I said, stop speaking to your anxiety. She didn't understand. I said, you're drinking poison. You're giving yourself poison. Stop telling yourself that you suffer from anxiety and be right here, right now. Where are your feet? Put your head where your feet are. See your feet. Understand where your feet are. You're standing right here, right now, I said to her. Be here now. And I got some but when all was said and done, she understood what I was trying to share with her. It's okay to be here. It's okay to be present. Stop creating anxiety, an anxiety-filled life, an anxiety-filled body, an anxiety-filled aura, an anxiety-filled soul. Those things are not for anxiety. Oh. When will you learn how to be with your feelings? When will you learn how to come out of your head? When will you learn how to stop spinning and spinning and spiraling and spinning and spinning and spiraling? When? When will you listen to somebody else other than your best thinking? Feeding that alcoholic mind, and I'm talking about somebody who's an alcoholic, who is sober, but doesn't have the tools necessary to be right here, right now, in her presence and in her body. To be present, to be in her presence and in the present, the gift. Aho. My smile, my love, my joy, my understanding is the ribbon that I wrapped the gift of the present, of my presence every day. Aho. I am present. I am here, right now. Now, I couldn't tell you what's going on in Washington, D.C. right now. I couldn't tell you what's going on in L.A., down in City Hall or anywhere downtown. I couldn't tell you what's going on across the street, not to any degree of safety. But I can tell you what's going on right here, right now, in the studio that I'm in Eagle Rock, California, where I'm looking out the door and I'm looking at beautiful hills and beautiful trees and the rooftops, and I'm looking at figs that are growing in from green to purple and deep purple, and they're sweetening on the tree as I speak to you. Aho. I'm in the presence of growth and transition and transcendence and transmutation as I speak, and I'm watching it as I sit right here, right now. It is not videotaped. It is not in the archives. It is not going to be shown after the commercial in about 2 minutes. It's right here, right now, happening in front of my eyes. What an amazing thing. You know why? Because I say yes to the present and the present of my presence. I hope. I say yes. We're going from gul to ru, from the darkness to the light. Will you say yes to going from the darkness to the light? Will you say yes for gul to ru? Would you? Can you? Will you? I will challenge you. 713-955-0332. Call in. Push 1. Get out of listen mode. And let the beautiful Reverend Tiffany White, sage woman, know that you have a question or you have something to say. Do you have something to say? Will you give yourself the opportunity to say something, to ask for a healing, to ask for guidance, to ask for advice, to ask for what it is you want that you have not been able to ask for a lifetime? A lifetime. Or lifetime in some case. What is it that you want? What is it that you'll give yourself? What is it that you refuse to give yourself? What is it you're afraid of giving yourself that you're so afraid that you don't even want to tell anybody? You don't even want to tell anybody, but it's too late because we already know. We already know. We see you. I'm seen. You hear my voice. Oh. I was working at the store. I work at a store. I work in the vitamin department of this particular store. It's a supermarket chain, a farmer's market type of supermarket chain. And some folks came in and they were looking for something to control sugar, for diabetes. And I looked at this woman, and we were talking, and she was buying. They were buying food. Her son was buying some good food. He's a big guy. He was trying to eat healthier, and she was trying to eat healthier, but she was telling me how she couldn't find anything. And I said, well, what are you buying? And I looked in the basket. She was buying peanut butter stuffed pretzels, and she was buying rice cakes. And I said, these are starch. This will turn to sugar in your system. She looked at me. She says, well, what am I supposed to eat? I said, take a cue from your son. There's a lot of vegetables over there. Figure that Figure out what it is you like to eat. If you like salads, if you can maybe buy a little bit of meat and put a little meat on your salad and have something, tasty and savory. And not everything needs to be starch. Not everything needs to be a bread. Not everything needs to be a tortilla. And I'm saying this, excuse me, because as I talked to her and I spoke to her, I could see the little girl. And I could see the wounded little girl. And this was a little girl who wanted daddy's help, who wanted help from somebody who could help her. Somebody who wasn't there when she needed help as a little girl, when whatever it was that happened to her. But she sat there and she stood there and she listened to me, and her son listened to me. And they heard the compassion in my voice and the care in my voice. Now, I don't get paid to do that kind of thing. But that's what I do, because people who come there don't come there just to buy food and vitamins. I believe they come there because they came there to see me. And I have a responsibility. I have a responsibility to that store. I have a responsibility to the store owner. I have a responsibility to that customer and all the customers. I have a responsibility to my fellow employees. And I have a responsibility to me to be good and true and right in what it is that I'm saying and what it is that I'm offering. I didn't, give them my business card and say, call me, I will heal you from your diabetes. No. I said, if you ever have questions, just feel free to give me a call. I'm not doing business. I'm offering people help. I'm offering people what they need. When they come over to me and say, hey, I want a liver cleanse, and they don't know what that means. They only know that they've spoken to somebody and somebody said they should cleanse their liver, and they don't know why. Or they need to do a cleansing, cleanse their body for a day or 2 or 3 years. And they don't even know what that means, because a day or 2 or 3 is not going to cleanse anything. I hope. I'm sorry, but that's the truth, because I have done cleansing, and I've had done cleansings for 7 to 15 days, 20 days, 25 days, and that's what is going to clean and clear out a lifetime of junk in your system. And not just that, it's going to clear out emotional junk in your system. All that stuff that we carry around like baggage, like trophies. We puff up our chest and we speak loudly and we put on the mask and we act like people don't see who we really are. And they say things like this. Oh, look at that. Why that person's got a big mouth. They say things like that. But they see you because you're wanting to be seen, because you don't know how to be with that little boy or little girl. Little is a key word there. Little is a key word. I didn't know how to be with my little boy. I had to do soul retrieval and go back and get that child and integrate that child into the life of a man who was already 50 years old. That child disappeared and left at the age of 7 or 8 years old. And that was a hard life for that child. But guess what? It doesn't matter. I'm right here, right now. And I have taken the last 5 to 6 years to integrate that child with this man and this man with that child who I've said yes to. I have said yes to that child, and I love that child every way I can. I love that child every way I can. And some days I don't know what that's going to look like. For me yesterday, it was not getting involved in the frenzy, the feeding frenzy, and the mayhem of what was happening in the sky yesterday. Because those of us who are in our medicine, like a Tiffany White stage woman, or a Jennifer Escalera, or myself, or others who, we know what's happening in the sky. We don't have to look up to see what's happening in the sky. We're watching it all around us. In the sky is falling, in the mayhem, and the craziness that goes on in a world that doesn't understand how to be present, and they have to look for something bigger because they don't understand. Bigger is inside you. Oh, bigger is inside you. Bigger is what happens within. Bigger is when you breathe so deep through your heart space into your fire, your fuego, your I can, I will, I do, that fire gets so big, that your self-esteem gets so big that it eclipses your heart. It eclipses your soul. It eclipses everything that I am and everything I ever thought I was. And I am love, and I am in manifestation, And I am in the business of saying yes to myself and those around me, and giving myself goodness, and giving myself kindness, and giving myself humanity. From the inside out, I vibrate from inside out. I don't vibrate from outside in and take in poison. Aho. When will you start saying no to the poison and start saying yes to giving yourself something great? Something great. I'm on fire right now. I'm really emotional. You would think that I'm in my 28-day cycle. I probably am. I'm on the divine feminine side. I am really emotional today. And I know it's because I am transitioning and transmuting and transcending and transforming into the light soul, the light being that I have always been. And I'm always doing that. I don't change just for one day or for 1 week or for 1 month. I change for lifetime. I change for infinity. I am infinite. I'm an infinite being, and I am constantly changing and shifting and moving. My cells are born and they die every second. So I come into a new self, a new me constantly. Even if I don't want to, even if my body does not have my permission. How about that? My friends in Alcoholics Anonymous, the complainers that, alcoholics don't like change, blah, blah. You ever hear a whine? But I would like to invite some people just to be a fly on the wall of those groups. I love those people, but they really annoy the crap out of me sometimes. I sit there and look at them. I'm like, man, are you not listening? Are you not paying attention? You have recovered from a seemingly hopeless state of mind and body. I have transformed from a seemingly hopeless state of mind and body. I can't sit there and whine about my life and wait for somebody in the room to give me a solution. I am all about solution. I walk in with solution. I don't walk in with problems. I walk in with solution. Years ago when I was unemployed, a friend of mine, Linda, I've known her for eons, since I think I first got sober. And one day she said, I walked in the meeting, she says, you need to go to blah, blah, blah every day for a meeting. I didn't ask her why. I just showed up there the next day. It was a Thursday. I remember it. I showed up there, and there I was until I was back at work again. And I don't ask people why. I don't ask myself why. I stopped asking why. 713-955-0332. Call in. Push 1 and ask why. Ask me why. I don't ask why. I don't ask why because there's no solution in why. I say yes because there's every solution in yes. There's every possibility in yes. There's every possibility in what can happen, what I could give myself, and what I can allow into a life that's transformed and transcended and transmuted and transitioned and alchemized in the darkness, in the magic of light, in the darkness, in the magic. And yes, 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 yes. I say yes. The only time I say no is when there's poison around. And I don't want your poison or anything that looks like that. I want to give myself good things. I want to give myself good things. Right now I just stepped into anxiety because I'm thinking about the things that are growing on the tree outside. And how I want it, 1 or 2 or 3. That's not really anxiety. It just happened to pop into my head right now. You know what? When I'm off the air at 2:02, I will be out in the tree picking some figs and having that goodness, that organic goodness in my mouth, in my belly, in my soul. And I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to be with that. What are you willing to give yourself? What are you going to give yourself? When are you going to stop giving yourself no? No. 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 And say yes to your soul. Say yes to your Akashic memory. Say yes to your auric field. Say yes to your infinite wisdom. Say yes to an infinite soul. Say yes to an infinite happiness right here, right now. And be in your presence of your present and wrap it in a ribbon so wonderful and so beautiful. Oh, when will you say yes to that? There is nothing better. There is nothing, but there might be. I don't know. You know, in fact, when I was talking to Jennifer Escalera earlier at my meeting, we were talking about these things, going inside, and what I said was, she says, what does that feel like to you? I said, well, the Hindis call meeting God, or Krishna, they call it bliss. And that's what it is to me. It feels like bliss. It feels like the most wonderful flavor you could ever have times 1,000. And as I was sitting here, I was in this emotional state, feeling love, loving myself, and just allowing myself to be in my feelings of what that felt like and what that feels like, not in the thinking and the spinning of the story of what it feels like, but in the feeling, in the experience of what it feels like. In the experience of what it feels like. What do you want to experience? Aren't you tired of experiencing, flipping somebody off because they maybe cut you off or didn't cut you off on the freeway? They're not driving your car, they're driving their car. And sometimes people aren't paying attention. Sometimes they just aren't paying attention. It's got nothing to do with you personally. Nothing whatsoever to do with you personally. Sometimes it just is what it is, and that's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. What are you going to say yes to? Can you say yes? Don't you want to say yes? My nose gets smaller and smaller, and they shrink into the distance, into the horizon. My nose go away. I was telling my friend Jennifer again today. I made a decision with regard to the type of person I want to be with as a man, the type of woman I would like to be with, if I ever have a relationship again. And I said, I want to be with somebody who is in their divine feminine nature, not somebody who is a divine feminine and living in the divine masculine nature, because that doesn't work for me. I want to be a gentler soul, and I don't want to be, rubbing up against sandpaper, if you know what I mean, because that can be pretty rough, and I don't want to be sandpaper. I want to be able to share something loving, something good, something light. I want to be in the light. And I know that when I'm rubbing up something soft that isn't sandpaper, it's easier to do. It's easier to deal with. Something that I want to give myself. Something that I truly want to give. And I've had a lifetime of taking the divine masculine in the divine feminine because I had a mommy issue for a lifetime, which I wasn't able to repair, and I finally have been able to repair and bridge that issue in the heart space, in the sacred, in my fire, my fuego, I can't really do in my voice. And I'm going to say this, I was staying at my mom's for a week, and it's great to be around my mom. She's 80 years old now, and I would wake up in the morning. I get up before everything. I'm up at 6 a.m. So I'm sitting and meditating and having coffee and doing numbers. She would get up, she'd come into the room, and I just walk over and kiss her. And I was able to let her know that, I really enjoy waking up with her in the house, and with me in her house. What an experience to be able to do that at my age. To just love this woman because I can, and because she deserves love, and because I am loved, and she is loved. Not wait for her to give me something, or scramble me up some eggs or whatever, or toast, or I don't know, whatever people have an expectation of others for. But just to be love, and to carry love, and to be love, and be seen as love, and to see love. I don't have to be seen as love. But I want to see love and see love the way it's working, all the glory. And that's my mother. You know, she brought me into this world. She could have said, no, I don't want this child. She was in a bad relationship with my father, which she stayed until my father died, by the way. God bless her. But she was in a bad relationship with him when I was when I was in transition. I'll say it like that. When I was in the womb, you know, gestation, and she opted to have me anyway, even though the situation wasn't good. She opted to stay with my father, to love him regardless of who and what he was, or who and what he couldn't be. You know, my father was an alcoholic, and I'm sure he loved us all, but he didn't know how to love him. He kept giving himself nasty spirits, spirit in, spirit out. He didn't know how to say no. He didn't know how to say yes. He was never given any tools. And why should he? And why should he? But I do know that, you know, I didn't want to live like that after watching a lifetime of that. And watching him die from a broken heart. And he really did. He had heart disease. And he had lung cancer. Or chakra. I'm loved. I don't have the capacity to love. I don't have the capacity to be loved. Air, lungs, direction of the south, direction of summer, direction of air, direction of the spirit world, direction of the child. My father didn't know how to be childlike. Not that he was childish, I'm not saying that, but he didn't know how to be childlike. He didn't know how to be free and stand in his own power. He filled himself with alcohol. He filled himself with those things that weren't good for him. And he passed that way. He crossed over that way. You know, it makes me sad for my dad. But it also gives me joy for myself, because that was the example that I didn't want to follow. I want to be who I am and live the way that I live without having to apologize for who I am. I shouldn't have to apologize for who I am or how I am. And if others look at me in a particular way and they judge me in that way, well, frankly, take the mirror, turn it around, and look at yourself and what is it about me that you don't like about yourself? You know, because that's got nothing to do with it, unless I'm being a jerk. You know, unless I'm being a jerk. We've got 3 minutes left in the show today. And, you know, I've gone on a roller coaster of emotions since I came on the air today. And I've been on a roller coaster of emotions since this morning, in my morning meeting with my friend Jennifer. I'm looking forward to working with this young lady. And I'm looking forward to bringing the divine masculine and divine feminine together in a room of understanding, in a room of love, in a room of no expectation, in a room of giving without expecting to receive. And this is what we're going to teach these young people that come to see us, that are married or single, or however whatever their state. We are going to help them to help themselves. I want to remind you that you've been listening to the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine Show. And my name is Anthony Rodriguez, Walking Crow, and this is a weekly show. You know, this every Tuesday at 1 p.m. You can find us on Blog Talk Radio. You know, and heck, I have taken myself on this roller coaster. It's an amazing thing I'm able to do. But I'm going to ask you to join me next Tuesday when our show is going to be about living with ghosts, coming out of the past and into the present. What are the ghosts that live in your life that you carry inside you, that you don't allow yourself to say yes, that you don't allow yourself to start saying no? Be here now. Be present. Allow the ghosts to be removed from your living area, from your soul, from your body, from your mind. Go from gu to ru. It's a repetitive process, and it's repetitive statements, and I'm constantly talking about the same thing. But I feel it's that important. I was sharing a story today that there's a man in my early sobriety who said, you know, if you augment your story, you're telling lies. I don't tell lies. And I say the same thing all the time. and I share the same medicine. My name is Anthony Rodriguez, Walking Crow, and you have been listening to the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine. Thank you, and I look forward to talking to you next Tuesday. Have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. Aho, Mitakiasi. Aho. Aho.
Yo, everybody get up! Everybody get up! Everybody needs to understand that I'm more than simply a hype man for this rap group, just like Geico is more than just a company that can save you money. Geico also has fast and friendly claim service, so they can help you when you need it most. And while I do love being a hype man, I also love reading for children's audiobooks. Like Little Bo Peep, she lost the sheep, and she don't know where to find them. Yo!
Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.
At Boar's Head, we place a premium on authenticity, and the home-roasted flavor of our Ever-Roast chicken is no exception. Inspired by a medley of ingredients from the garden, a family recipe, and slow-roasted craft. It's the authentic taste of home and the unmatched quality of Boar's Head. Ever-Roast chicken, sliced fresh at the deli, only from Boar's Head. Compromise elsewhere.